Hey there, welcome back to the JeepSolid Garage. Today's an exciting day. We're gonna install the stroker into my 94 YJ. Finally, it is ready. Well, it's mostly ready. Got the clutch installed. We're still missing a few little trinkets like the brackets on the side, the oil dipstick. Some people like to go as far as putting the manifolds on, but I'm gonna put it in like this because it gives me the most room to wiggle things around, get it installed. In one of my recent videos, there was a lot of talk about using the old clutch. Yes, I know. I've got a new clutch coming, but it's gonna be weeks until it's here. So I wanna get this installed and just get driving this thing because honestly, I need to use this Jeep. The old clutch that's going back in it, if I burn it up, I don't care, I'm getting a new one. And then this way I can start breaking in the camshaft, which I have to be easy on it anyways for the first few hundred miles, but at least this way I can get started. Over here, I got my little setup to dry my engine mounting brackets here, freshly painted, ready to install. Let's see how much of this we can get done. Ooh, I almost forgot. You guys wanna see the engine bay. It's all painted up looking good. This looks so much better. The engine is gonna look great sitting down in there. If you guys remember previously what this engine bay looked like, it was just all dirty and had rust spots on it. The fender on the driver's side was red color, remember? But now look at that, looks just great. Got the firewall painted up all nice. This fender over here is no longer red. The passenger side fender, got it painted up good. Hid a little bit of the frame down there as well. Got the bell housing cleaned up a little bit. One thing I need to do real quick, there's two dowel pins, one on each side of the bell housing. This one of them was left in place. The new engine has both of them in, so it's not gonna fit. I gotta take that one out real quick. And before we drop the engine in place here, gotta make sure I get a little bit of grease on the input shaft here to the transmission. My goal is not to get crushed under the engine. Man, I need to weigh another 100 pounds. And look at this. I got myself some new grade 8 hex head bolts. So I can get rid of these dumb E12s. Never using those again. All my transmission bolts are right here. And engine mounts. I'm glad you asked. Here's the old mounts, obviously cracked and shrunk and need to be replaced. So, Brown Dog hooked me up. Thank you so much, Brown Dog. These are their rubber YJ mounts. I've used Brown Dog on quite a few other projects. I've always been super happy with them. Check out their website linked in the description below. But man, these are gonna look great going in this engine. And yeah, some people like to get a lot more of the little bits and pieces on the engine before putting it in, the thermostat, water pump, manifold, kind of like I mentioned earlier, but I'm doing this by myself and I want as much room in the engine bay to shimmy this around and get it on that input shaft to the transmission. So I'm doing it like this. I can put all that other stuff on later. So with a bit of shimmying and shaking, we're just making sure we're getting it at the right level and the right angle. Make sure those dowel pins are lined up and then slide it into the transmission. And we'll get most of the way there, then I'll line the bolts up and make sure all the wires and everything are out of the way as well. All right, after a whole lot of shimmying and shaking and up and down with the transmission, back and forth with the engine, just trying to get things lined up, we finally got 4 of the bolts in from the bell housing to the engine. So I think we're all lined up good. Tighten everything down and we'll be secure. And because I'm over here, I got the crankshaft position sensor installed. All right, engine mounting brackets are in. Next I can put my new Brown Dog motor mounts on. There's just one stud that sets down on the bracket there. Nut goes on the bottom and this bolt on the bottom this way. I'm gonna get a little Loctite on them as well, just to make sure nothing comes loose. And it is easier to get the driver's side in first. So we'll get this one situated, then work on the other side. And before I tighten anything down, I'm gonna get the passenger side in as well. So there is a little bit of play in these, a little bit of lateral movement, so don't tighten it down until you get everything in place. And we can put our through bolt in place, and I've got a washer on here. We're gonna add a washer on each side, and we're gonna use that to help tension our bolt. You don't wanna over tighten these bolts. That's one problem some people run into, and they get vibration. So you want to tighten it down so that you can still move these washers a little bit. If you over tighten your bolt, you're gonna run into bad vibrations. All right, engine is in. Motor mounts are all secured. That's a big step. We got a lot done. Now I just gotta put all the little tidbits back on, but check out my next video right up here. Thank you guys for watching. Want to see something that kind of panicked me a little bit? When I was done installing the engine, had it all mated up to the transmission real good here, I noticed a gap right there between the oil pan and the backing plate here on the transmission, the little cover there. There's a gap. I can see like the back of the crank. Got the flywheel right here, and I didn't remember seeing that gap. I was like, oh no, is it not mated up all the way? A lot of things went through my head. I was thinking, was the snout on the crankshaft like too long? Did I bend this backing plate? What is going on? Why is there a gap there? So it did panic me a bit. A lot of things went through my head. Then I went out to the my daughter's Sully, my other Cherokee out there, 4-liter engine, compared it. There's a gap there too, so I guess that's normal. But a lot of stuff went through my head, panicked a little bit.